There's a quiet irony in gardening that most people never stop to question. The very soil so many growers complain about, curse even, is often the same soil that sustained entire civilizations for centuries. Clay soil has a reputation problem, not a potential problem. If you've ever struggled with sticky, heavy ground that cracks like brick in the sun, you're not alone. But what if that frustration is actually a misunderstanding? What if the thing you've been trying to fix is already your garden's greatest advantage? Stay with me, because by the end of this guide, you'll see clay soil through a completely different lens, and more importantly, you'll know exactly how to turn it into one of the most productive growing systems possible. What clay soil really is, and why it matters. Clay soil isn't just heavy dirt, it's defined by particle size, and those particles are incredibly fine, so small that they pack tightly together. This tight structure is what gives clay its signature traits. Media group, water pooling on compacted clay, soil surface, muddy, sticky clay, soil sticking to gardeners' hands or boots, stock, distribute, equally, poor drainage, compaction, and that sticky texture when wet. But here's the part most advice skips over. Those microscopic particles carry a negative charge, which allows them to attract and hold on to essential nutrients like calcium, potassium, and magnesium. This is known as cation exchange capacity, and clay soils rank among the highest of all soil types. In simple terms, your clay soil is a nutrient reservoir. While sandy soils lose nutrients quickly through leaching, clay holds onto them, making them available to plants over time. That alone makes it incredibly valuable. Clay soil doesn't just store nutrients, it also retains water exceptionally well. In dry conditions, this becomes a major advantage. Where other soils dry out rapidly, clay continues supplying moisture to plant roots. This resilience can mean the difference between survival and crop failure during drought periods. There's also the structural stability. Clay soils resist erosion far better than lighter soils, which makes them ideal for sloped gardens or areas prone to heavy rainfall. And beneath the surface, clay creates a surprisingly rich habitat for microbial life. Those tiny pore spaces within aggregated clay become homes for beneficial bacteria and fungi, forming the backbone of a healthy soil ecosystem. The real problem: structure, not composition. The issue with clay isn't what it contains, it's how it's structured. When clay is compacted, those tiny particles press tightly together, leaving little room for air or water movement. Roots struggle to penetrate, and drainage becomes sluggish. This is where most people go wrong. They try to fix clay by adding sand, thinking it will loosen the soil. In reality, unless you're adding massive amounts, sand mixed with clay often creates a dense, cement-like consistency. It's actually the same principle used in making bricks. Instead of improving drainage, it can make things worse. Another common mistake is excessive tilling. While it may temporarily break up compacted soil, it disrupts the natural structure and destroys beneficial fungal networks. Over time, this leads to the formation of a hardpan layer beneath the surface, trapping water and limiting root growth. Building better soil with organic matter. The most effective way to improve clay soil is surprisingly simple. Add organic matter consistently. Compost, well-aged manure, leaf mold, and worm castings all play a crucial role in transforming soil structure. As organic matter decomposes, it feeds soil microbes. These microbes produce natural binding agents that cluster clay particles into aggregates. These aggregates create larger pore spaces, allowing air and water to move freely. This is really what healthy soil structure looks like. Applying a thick layer of compost to the surface and allowing it to integrate naturally over time is far more effective than aggressive mixing. The process may be gradual, but it builds lasting results. Timing matters more than effort. One of the most overlooked factors in managing clay soil is timing. Working clay when it's too wet is one of the fastest ways to cause long-term damage. When saturated, clay particles slide easily over one another. Any pressure, whether from tools, footsteps, or machinery, forces them into a tightly compacted layer. A simple test can save years of frustration. Take a handful of soil and squeeze it. If it holds its shape and feels sticky, it's too wet. If it crumbles easily, it's ready to work. Waiting even a day or two after rainfall can make a massive difference. Let plants do the hard work. Nature has its own way of fixing compacted soil, and it doesn't involve machinery. Deep-rooted plants like radishes and sunflowers act as natural soil breakers. Their roots push through dense layers, creating channels that improve aeration and drainage. When these plants decompose, they leave behind pathways that future roots can follow. This process, often called biological tillage, is one of the most effective and sustainable ways to improve clay soil over time. Protecting the surface with mulch. Bare clay soil is vulnerable. When exposed, it can form a hard crust that repels water and limits seedling growth. Covering the surface with organic mulch helps prevent this. Mulch regulates temperature, retains moisture, and gradually breaks down into organic matter. It also shields the soil from the impact of heavy rain, which can otherwise compact the surface further. Over time, this protective layer plays a major role in improving overall soil health. The long game that pays off. Improving clay soil isn't an overnight process. It takes consistency and patience. The first year may bring subtle changes, slightly better drainage, easier digging. By the second year, you may notice increased earthworm activity and healthier plant growth. But once that structure is built, clay soil becomes incredibly productive. Its ability to hold both nutrients and water creates a stable environment for plants to thrive. What once felt like a limitation becomes a powerful advantage. Clay soil isn't something to fight, it's something to understand and work with. When managed correctly, it has the potential to outperform many other soil types. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Nature's Flora, share this with fellow growers and join the conversation in the comments. Let's keep building smarter, healthier soil together.